Morning all. Well, here we are in this beautiful place. This is Pietrapertosa, one of what is known as the Lucanian Dolomites. Lucanian because that's the adjective referring to Basilicata. And the Dolomites because, as you can see, these are these rock formations behind the town. The other town here is Castelmezzano, and what we're going to do this morning is we're going to walk from Pietrapertosa to Castelmezzano. There is what's known as the Via Ferrata, which is basically a rock climbing route. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the footpath along the bottom. Let's see how we get on. The path heads off down the narrow winding streets of Pietrapertosa. It's easy enough to find, it's well signposted, and here at least the going is easy. This here is the map. Pietrapertosa is down the bottom here, and up at the top is Castelmezzano, which is where we're going to arrive later on this morning. There is the Via Ferrata, which goes along the side of the rocks here. But as you can see from the pictures, you need rock climbing equipment. In fact, there's some instructions here on how you're not to do this unless you have all the right helmet and rock climbing shoes and so on and so forth. So we're going to do just the Via delle Sette Pietre, which comes to here, and then we can go along the road to arrive in Castelmezzano. It's not very far, only about 4 kilometers. It's a beautiful day. It should be great for a walk. Here we are. Look, there is a little fountain along the way. Suddenly there's this
segnano un cammino antico tra sorgenti di acque sincere, dove ogni scroscio porta la voce degli antenati e il loro canto rende più lievi I ricordi.
This voice is coming out of the rocks just there. I don't know. It's very strange. It's very strange. This is telling us that this route remembers the roots of our ancestors. Whoa. But actually, I'm beginning to think I haven't done my homework properly. I'm going to have to go and read up on this, because here behind me is a little stone which says Destini, destinies. Here we've come to some other strange feature. Some stones in the ground, and this kind of what looks like a witch's hat, or possibly a beehive, and more strange voices. And here we've come to some more stones, and look here on this rock here, you can read, it says sortileggio, a spell. So it's really quite enchanting, all of this. I'm intrigued. So if I'm not wrong, here we've come to what is marked on the map as the Ponte Romano, the Roman bridge. Over, you can see this goes over the river here. This is the river that divides Castelmezzano and Pietrapertosa. There's a spectacular view up there behind me of Castelmezzano. These two places are beautiful. They're not easy to get to though. The easiest way to reach them is from Potenza. If you come from the south, as I did yesterday, you'll realize that the roads are really very difficult. And I can tell you from experience yesterday, either they are on Google Maps but you can't actually drive along them, or you can drive along them but they are not on Google Maps. So if you do come here, the lesson is don't use Google Maps to get here. The way to reach it is via Potenza, and then it's much easier. That's the only thing about this walk, is that it goes down quite a long way, and then you've got to go up the other side. That is fine. It's okay. It's not very far. It's just the up and down of it. So here we are. We've reached another stone sculpture. This one here is called ballo. In other words, the dance. So up there is the rock of Castelmezzano, and if we go down into the valley, I think you can see there in the bottom, in the middle of the shot, that is what they call the Nepalese bridge, the rope bridge across the canyon in the middle. And then up on the other side, of course, that is the side of Pietrapertosa. So that's why we haven't done that way. We've come the easy way today. So actually we've already arrived at the cemetery, which is the end of the route of the Seven Stones. And the road continues from here. It goes on to Castelmezzano, which we will do. I think it's very much worth doing. But you can see up in the hills behind me, that is Pietrapertosa, which we came from earlier this morning, and which unfortunately we would have climbed back up to once we've been to visit Castelmezzano. And although it's only 4 kilometers from Castelmezzano to Pietrapertosa, you can't drive directly between them because, as that sign indicates, in a short while this road ends. You can't get any further. So in fact, to get from Pietrapertosa to Castelmezzano or vice versa, you have to go all the way around the mountains, and the journey takes something like a whole hour. It's really the most incredible thing of all. In fact, it really is quicker walking and doing it on foot. Here behind me then is the very charming town, or village really actually, of Castelmezzano. We've pretty much arrived. Up there you can see the rock, what again is what they call the Norman Swabian castle. In truth, I think the history of these villages probably mirrors the history of all of the south of Italy. No doubt at some stage they were inhabited by Byzantines. Then the Arabs arrived in the 8th, 9th century AD. And in fact, there is a quarter in both of the villages, Pietrapertosa and in Castelmezzano, which is known as the Saracen Quarter, where supposedly the Arabs once upon a time lived. And then after that, the Normans, the Swabians, Germans in other words, and then the Lombards, a succession of different people living here in these towns. In fact, we can get up to the top of this castle. That's where we're going to head off to now. It's not really very far. From now on, it's just road all the way. You can see up into the village, and then only the very last part of it, there are some steps. Wow, what a fantastic view. So we're climbing up towards the castle, and this is the balcony just before we get to the very top. And looking down there, I think you might be able to see there's a road. That road there is the Basilicata. It's the main road that goes between Potenza and down to, you can see in the distance, that is the coast. Now, that is the coast between Metaponto and Taranto. So it's that sort of bottom of the boot, if you like, of Italy. And the Basilicata arrives there. It's a big road, and that's the road that you would typically take to get to Castelmezzano or Pietrapertosa. This is as far as we're going to go. This is the very highest point of the castle, and look, you can see cut into it are these steps. Not really safe to go up anymore, and in fact, as you can see, the door is closed. Down there beneath us, that is Castelmezzano. Doesn't it look pretty? Just huddled inside the mountain. Here we are now back in Pietrapertosa. Even had a little bit of lunch as well. Well, there is finally one other way to get between Pietrapertosa and Castelmezzano if you are feeling brave, and that's this. This is the Volo d'Angelo, or the Flight of the Angel, better known as a zip wire. And let me show you where it goes. It goes across the valley and it ends up, you can see there is Castelmezzano over there. Now, I suggest that's not for the faint-hearted, but there are some people who would enjoy doing that, I'm sure.